Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. David, I want to thank you for your powerful and courageous testimony today. On behalf of Denmark, I wish to convey our deepest sympathies. What you and your family continue to endure is unimaginable. Your presence here today not only honors your loved one, but also sheds light on the profound human toll of this conflict. I would also like to extend my appreciation to Assistant Secretary Jenka for your briefing, and I welcome His Excellency Foreign Minister Saar, as well as the permanent representative of the Observer State of Palestine, to this meeting. Denmark expresses its sincere solidarity with the remaining 50 hostages who've been held captivity for 669 days. 669 days of waking nightmare, as you said it, Mr. David, deprived of their freedom and dignity, and used as human bargaining chips by Hamas. The recent images showing Rom Blaslavsky and Neviatar David in inhumane states are enormously distressing and should be utterly condemned. We regret that the hostages have not been granted any humanitarian access to address their medical and other humanitarian needs as required under international law. Our thoughts are with them and their families. We re-emphasize that hostage-taking is a war crime, and we reiterate our demand for the immediate, unconditional, safe, and dignified release of all remaining hostages. Mr. President, Denmark firmly condemns the heinous terrorist attacks on October 7 perpetrated by Hamas. The attack resulted in the deliberate targeting of civilians, the killing of over 1,200 people, and the abduction of more than 200 individuals, including women and children. Israel has every right to respond to such a brutal and barbaric attack. However, Israel's response must be exercised in compliance with international law and with full respect for international humanitarian law. This includes the principles of distinction, proportionality, and precaution, which are fundamental to protecting civilian lives. The fight against terrorism cannot come at the expense of the rules that safeguard our shared humanity. Denmark reiterates that any attempt by Israel to annex Palestinian land would be unacceptable and violate international law. What we are witnessing in Gaza is a catastrophic humanitarian situation that is unparalleled in its deprivation of basic human needs and attacks on civilians, civilian infrastructure, and humanitarian personnel. As we've heard from Assistant Secretary General Jenka, more than 60,000 Palestinians have been killed and over 140,000 have been injured. IPC's recent report on food security warns us that the worst-case scenario is unfolding as we speak. Access to food and other essential items and services have plummeted to unprecedented levels, and Gaza is on the brink of a full-scale famine. Civilians are starving, not due to a lack of food, but due to decisions taken by Israel. We cannot continue to let this happen. International law is clear. Humanitarian aid should never be used as a bargaining chip or a political tool. Israel must immediately lift all restrictions to allow for the provision of safe, sustained, and unhindered humanitarian access in line with its obligation under international humanitarian law. Mr. President, the suffering has to end. We call for an immediate end to the war in Gaza through an immediate and permanent ceasefire, unrestricted access for humanitarian aid, and the unconditional and immediate release of all hostages. A permanent ceasefire will lay the foundations to help unravel this nightmare unfolding before our eyes, for recovery, for the civilians trapped in this conflict, for the two-state solution to once again take center stage, and for the prospects of peace. These were also the messages that we heard during the high-level conference on the implementation of the two-state solution last week, where Denmark joined the vast majority of member states in voicing our steadfast support to a two-state solution. There is no better path to ending this conflict than two states, side by side, providing just and lasting peace for all, Israelis and Palestinians alike. For that to happen, the violence in Gaza must stop now. I thank you.